The Shattered Podcast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the very first episode of The Shattered Podcast. I'm Ronan Costa.
I'm Harrison Graham.
And I am Martin Tyler.
Who is that?
It's an English football commentator.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, well, welcome.
I'm Jack Gambrill.
Nice, Jack. You got any kids?
No.
Not that he knows of.
Alright, so yeah, we wanted to do a podcast because it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun to make a podcast and just chat, say what's on our mind. And we're really struggling right now because we haven't done one of these before.
We have no topics.
And we're just hoping that Spotify will accept us and distribute the podcast. Which if they do, then you're listening on that right now, then it's thanks.
But if they don't distribute the podcast, then you're not listening on
That's
Spotify.
right. That's right. You're listening on YouTube or Anchor, which is our partner for the podcast.
Do people actually use Anchor?
Well, they're going to now that we're on Shattered. They're going to now.
They follow us.
That's right.
We're paving the way.
That's it.
We are going to make Anchor.
Yeah. That's right.
Really, Anchor should be thanking us.
That's right. We didn't even get monetized. But who cares? Because we're here to just chat about what's going on. And we're freaking keen.
You've got some experience not being monetized.
I do have some experience not being monetized. I have been monetized for a bit. And I got about $20. But you need to earn at least $100.
That's decent, you know.
It is.
Like 5 years work for $20. Like,
yeah. You need to earn at least $100 if you want to get that money. So it sucks. So
YouTube is currently storing away that $20.
Pretty much, and there's other channels like that.
All right. So once you get to $100, you can then redeem it.
Yes,
except
but
he's not making any money.
That's
so first
right.
He's got to get to the prerequisites to make.
It's just
money.
not uploading full stop.
pretty much there's some like really stupid things you've got to do to get that to monetize. So.
Spillage.
Just spilled water
Anyway.
everywhere.
Audio visitors, audio.
You wouldn't have seen that, so
Yeah.
it's what you're missing out on.
Audio listeners cannot see what's going on right now.
I could be naked.
So this audio will also be unedited.
I wish.
Yeah, it'll be
So
unedited.
disappointing.
So we're just gonna.
So you
chat.
will see that water spillage or hear it
Yeah.
if the audio managed to capture
Yes.
droplets of water hitting
The
the
sound of water falling on the cloth.
That's it.
Yes.
So Harry, you've had a pretty interesting life. Tell us a bit about it.
It's what?
We have no topics whatsoever to speak of.
Oh, I think we do. Wealth. Let's talk about wealth for a bit.
Okay.
I want to understand why people who have such insane amounts of money use it in the ways that they do. You might think, celebrities donate money to charity, but not all do, and we only hear about the good things they do.
And rich people who give money to charity, they do it because they can get less tax by doing so.
They're not actually good people.
There are some who
No, you're right.
but there are others who are just like,
Yeah.
if I make this large charitable donation,
That's
I
right.
have to pay less in tax.
That's true. The Shad Podcast. Are you guys hyped?
Boy!
Will you listen into more episodes after this? You won't find another podcast as incoherent as us. I will give you that.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it such an awesome podcast. Yeah. So, Jack, you've had a pretty interesting life. Why don't you tell us a bit about that?
I was born at a very young age.
Your name is not Jack!
So basically, I spawned in at
yes.
at Hornsby.
Ah, yes.
So when they're in Barrel, Australia,
Mm-hmm.
spawned in Hornsby, Australia.
Oh,
both
nice.
in New South Wales.
Hornsby.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not that nice, but
Yeah.
To be clear, did you buy the battle pass or did you just spawn at level 0?
Wait, there's a battle pass.
For life.
Is that a
Bill
thing?
You didn't
Gates
know?
got the battle pass.
Yeah.
That's why,
Oh, is that why he's so rich?
Pretty much.
basically.
He also bought Minecraft, and now he has the title of God of Minecraft.
Oh,
Yeah.
good save.
We don't want to, confuse things here.
There's only one god.
That's it. So coronavirus, that's a bloody thing. And it is just killing people. Actually, Is it actually? I don't think it's killed that many people.
Didn't you say like 0.2% of people die from it?
Yeah, 0.2% chance of dying if you're between the ages of like 0 and 30.
Chance of dying.
Wait, 0 has a low chance? I would have thought that if you're like 0 to 2, then you'd still have like a pretty high chance of dying.
This is where the computer will
No.
come in handy, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it would, but we don't want a computer. Look, probably. No. If you're young,
Only facts
it
here
doesn't
on the
affect.
You guys know your news source. Come to us.
Presumptions, the podcast.
There are probably not that many deaths from the coronavirus.
That's right.
Like,
Guys, this is a
it's
test
been
episode.
scientifically proven.
That's
at
right.
this point.
This is not a test episode. This is our first legitimate episode. If I say this is a test episode because it sucks and oh guys, it's just a test episode, then Spotify won't accept it because apparently they don't accept test episodes. So this has to be
Spotify, if you're listening, this is not a test episode.
That's right. This is the official first episode.
I feel like no one at Spotify is going to watch this. If they've got like some sort of...
That's right, they're not. They're going to listen.
They could convert the whole thing to closed captions though, and the more times you say test episode, the more likely it is to think that this is one of them.
That's a good point.
Test episode.
Stop saying that!
Testing.
Tesla. We're here to talk about Tesla. Look, the brand is pretty sick. Elon
Dude,
Musk.
this is so inconvenient.
You have never seen anything. This is the most incoherent
We don't even
conversation.
wrap up the topics we're talking
Is
about.
has it been 5 minutes?
We had topics.
And we've talked about like...
We had topics. No.
We thought that we were going to have stuff to talk about for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, and we will. We're going to find stuff. We're going to dig deep into our mind.
I have no doubt that we're going to be able to talk for a long time.
Yeah,
the question
absolutely.
is, are you going to be able to follow what the heck we're saying?
Probably not.
Let's just try.
Try to follow what we're saying, and if you can do that without like getting
Test
a seizure or an aneurysm, then good on you. Because that, like, the Shattered podcast, it's called that because it literally shatters your brain cells when you listen.
This is just an IQ test. You'll be tested at the
It's
end.
an IQ test. Good luck. We haven't even actually talked about anything specific yet.
We've just been talking about how incoherent maybe.
It's a very
Okay.
It's a fodderful podcast.
Where's the topic?
I don't know if that's a word.
What's something
Fodderful.
that the people are actually going to want to listen to?
Well, that's the question that we should have figured out before we started recording the first episode.
Like,
You know
no
what?
one cares about Tesla.
Can we talk about the toilet paper like running out in stores?
Yeah, sure.
What is there to talk about?
It's so
Toilet paper's gone.
it's so stupid though. It shouldn't be gone because people shouldn't be stockpiling it right now.
No, you know what I find? Actually, let me just, before I tell you what's dumber than the toilet paper disappearing, I'm going to set the bar. I'm not saying that toilet paper disappearing isn't dumb, because it is so dumb. Like,
Yeah.
people are like, oh, they're importing the parts that are needed for toilet paper from China, and they've stopped importing it, and therefore we're going to run out of toilet paper, so I need to stockpile it all.
Yeah.
People don't understand that most of the toilet paper does not come from China.
There are Australian brands that just make toilet paper.
Kleenex?
The media...
Is Kleenex Australian?
Probably.
Quilton. I think
Yeah.
Quilton are in Australia.
Quilton are.
Surely they don't import stuff from China. But anyway, continue.
But what at least there's some sort of rationale behind it. Even if the rationale is flawed, it's there.
Yeah.
What's dumber than that is people who are stocking up on hand sanitizer.
Are people actually doing that?
It's like, what?
Why?
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 It's like, you know what I need? Like, bare essential in the case that it runs out. Hand sanitizer.
Bro, hand sanitizer is expensive too. Like, just wash your hands with soap and water.
Yeah, there are two reasons that people might be doing this. Either the same reason as toilet paper, and they think it's going to run out, and they think it's a bare essential. In which case, it's like, of all the things you could be stockpiling right now, why is hand sanitizer even on the list?
Stockpile bloody medicines for your 80-year-old grandfather.
But it's the media like hyping everything up, like, oh, we are going to run out of toilet paper, which sends every regular Australian person into a frenzy. Like,
That's it.
I need to stockpile. The coronavirus is going to get into Australia. Oh, I need to stockpile hand sanitizer for some reason.
Like, yeah, and
It's a cure.
the second reason why people might be stockpiling this hand sanitizer is they think like either way they think it's going to run out, but they think that the usefulness of it is not just that it's a bare essential, but that that it's somehow going to protect them from the airborne coronavirus.
Yeah, that's it. That's how it works. We can buy toilet paper.
People are just so misinformed.
Yeah, it's such a shame.
Like, what I...
And it's the same with the Corona beer as well.
Oh yeah, their sales are going down just because
People,
Corona
yeah.
was
The name coronavirus is associated with the beer Corona. And, you know, they're in no way related. But apparently a lot of Americans...
Yeah, dude, but that's just America.
I think that they are.
It's hard to say though. Like, you can see like pretty clearly that this, like, the numbers have dropped, but it's hard to say how true the things are. Like, it's solely because of Corona. Like, maybe a lot of stocks are dropping apparently.
Yeah.
So I remember Daniel tells me a lot about this study, like or a survey or something where like, however many, some absurd amounts of Americans supposedly believe that that strawberry milk comes from pink cows.
Oh, I've heard that one. Yeah.
Wait, no, the chocolate
Test
milk
episode.
comes from the chocolate milk comes from brown cows.
Yeah, chocolate milk comes from brown cow. It does, doesn't it?
But like the question that I'd have with that is what is the sample size and how is the question asked? Like, because
If brown cows produce brown milk,
It's just all the people from Minnesota.
like there's a big difference between someone like hearing the question, when you milk a brown cow, does the milk that comes out come in the form of chocolate milk? Like, or then the difference between that and you saying like, just does chocolate milk come from brown cows? And it's like, yeah, it comes from all cows because you just get the milk and then you put the chocolate in. Maybe they misunderstood. Or
Maybe they just surveyed all the people in Utah.
or maybe they just took a demographic of people that just have
shots at Utah.
like, maybe the demographic wasn't wide enough. Maybe it was. Maybe people are just genuinely dumb in absurd
You'd be
quantities.
surprised. Yeah. There's a lot of dumb
But
people.
like, that's the thing. You've got to know the study that you're referencing. I think.
That's it. That's very important.
Back to
No, the study you're
coronavirus.
What about it?
Toilet paper. Girl at school showed me a post today that said that Coles are recalling all toilet paper sold because apparently the cardboard which holds the toilet paper together is also from China and may contain coronavirus.
Wait a minute. The cardboard.
You're joking,
That stocks the
No,
toilet paper.
I don't know. I don't know if this was actually a joke or it was legit.
that
probably
has to be.
it has to be a joke.
That sounds
But
terrible.
But imagine they recall all toilet
Bro,
paper.
at this point, you may as well recall all stores for containing things that contain the coronavirus.
Just anything that contains things from China just gets closed
Ooh,
down.
Coles is closed. Permanently. No, you know, there's a restaurant in Barra called Shanghai. It's a Chinese restaurant, and you might go, oh, it should be shut. No, because freaking...
Why would it be shut?
Well, because coronavirus. But
It's not
They're
from
in
China.
Chinese cuisine. They're not importing
But they-
food from
they
China.
occasionally go to China and come back. The point is...
they didn't this year.
No, well, I don't think so. But the point
Cannot
is...
confirm.
No, I can't.
I'm pretty sure it was confirmed that they I think like recently we ordered Chinese and Mum was getting worried like
From the same place.
From Shanghai.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's just called
That's
Shanghai.
the only Chinese place in Barrel, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mum was like, oh, what if they're still over in China for Chinese New Year? And they weren't. And it was probably because they didn't go back because of the coronavirus.
They're being wise. Yeah. So and their Chinese is really nice as well. It tastes great. I wouldn't want to lose that to some stupid virus.
This
The
is not-
virus.
this is
one
not
is
a
threatening
sponsorship.
to
Get out.
This is not a sponsorship.
No one is. It's not like you make something Chinese and then suddenly.
just becomes coronavirus.
It's like being
Test episode.
testing. 1, 2, 3.
No. Why do guys always compare each other's chests? Have you ever noticed that?
No.
What?
Like if
I
you're
thought
at
that was it. No, I won't say.
if you're at an athletics carnival, if you're ever like at a pool, you know, guys will be shirtless and they'll be checking out each other's chests like, yo, you got more abs than him, or he's
That's
got more
not
abs
your
than me.
chest.
That's stomach. Are you talking about pec? Like pectoralis?
This area. In
Just
general.
torso.
Just torso.
Yeah. Torso. Yeah.
Yes, I have noticed that.
How weird is that?
Oh, yeah.
No, it's not that weird.
not
I have the
weird.
occasional tendencies to check
noticed
out a
it.
male body.
There's nothing
Just
wrong
let
with
that,
that.
just let that sit.
That's the silence to them. And also, please, guys, Harry, Jack, try not to hum any particular tunes because that could also get the podcast taken off Spotify.
Copyright music.
If it picks it up.
Wait. Let me just pull up a Spotify.
Around the world.
Please, stop. So yeah, if you guys are enjoying this podcast, then please let us know in the comments on Anchor if you'd listen to more. We're still only about halfway
What's
through.
this on Anchor?
No one's gonna watch this, let alone on Anchor.
The joy is in the creation, friends.
That's it.
Those who are listening, we thank you, but we don't expect to have you.
We just disregard everyone. You're useless. We're doing this for ourselves.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that the audience, we value you, but we also don't need you. That's
Just we're digging holes.
Look, we enjoy having you, but you're not necessary, alright?
Right, you are getting late. Like, you are talking about the podcast too much.
Welcome to the Shattered Podcast, where we talk about the Shattered Podcast.
50% is having a conversation about the coronavirus. The other 50% is talking about the podcast.
I'm sorry.
Oh, wait. How weird was it when we just talked about the coronavirus on this podcast?
No.
How weird.
It's so weird.
You're taking the mickey out of me. I appreciate this. If every episode is as trash as this, I'm gonna stop the podcast.
How weird was it when we were talking about... Guys, how weird was it when we were talking about the podcast? And then we talked about talking about the podcast.
And then we talked about talking about the podcast.
That's what Harry said!
Oh, sorry, talking about the podcast.
I think that was one too many. Look,
No, that was right.
Fortnite was a game that died, sort of.
Are we all jumping on tonight for a massive toxic session? Dude, I'm pumped. If
Yeah.
anyone wants to join
Play.
us for Fortnite,
Yeah.
hit us up, text us.
We still play.
Instagram. Oh, do we want to plug our Instagrams right now?
Can't
I'm
hurt.
private, but okay.
Harry's
You'll be
Instagram.
given a gateway to Harrison's Instagram. Just spam him with
No, DM him before you request to follow him and just say, yo, this is from the Shattered Podcast.
Dude, the fact is that I'm not going to get any DM. Like, firstly, let's assume that 10% of people who saw the podcast were to send me a DM.
10% of people who see this podcast is
and
like
it's
100%.
and it's 100%
No, dude,
ironically. There's no way anyone's sending it on.
10% of 0 is still 0. Oh, we're talking about the podcast again.
Ah, frick.
No, but honestly, the only thing Fortnite is good for is
Building.
Playground.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're just taking the mick out of Kurt.
Yeah. Well, Kurt, for those of you who don't know, which I'd assume most of you would, but if you don't, Kurt Crawford is a good friend of ours. He may even be a special guest on our next episode of this, if this even makes it past this first episode. There's not a test here.
Test episode.
No. But Kurt is a bit of a legend. You know, he's got a good faith in God. So do we, I'd like to think. And that will be a topic for another episode. But, yeah, he's hopping on Fortnite tonight with us as of when we record this. And it should be a lot of fun. Can we just take a bit of time? This is a good topic here, actually. Let's talk about how much we enjoy being toxic to Kurt on Fortnite.
A lot.
If it was out of 10 to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a fun one. Yeah, that's a topic, brother.
I don't like. That's a strange topic. You put forward strange requests, right?
We need to put a different topic forward then.
No, what I was gonna say, like regarding Fortnite, I don't like. I reckon the idea of a battle royale was kind of cool at first, but like in terms of how fun in the long term it is to play the game, you spend most of your time waiting to play the game.
Yeah.
You're in queues a lot. Yeah, I
And
can see
even when they added the feature of like you can just ready up after you die, it still takes like 2 minutes to
Yeah.
get into a game. So it's basically the equivalent of going back to the lobby, readying up, and then getting into another lobby.
And when you're in a game, you spend 90% of the time looting and 10% of the time fighting.
Yeah, those games suck the most when you're looting heaps and then suddenly some players come and just destroy
just
you.
instantly die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just annoying.
And like it's different if you're good, but like
Yeah.
most players are average by definition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if it's only fun for the people like
Yeah.
if it's only consistently fun for the people who
Flies feature
are like towards the top, because like if you're bad at Call of Duty, you die a few times, you run in, you get a few more kills. You spend most of your time fighting at least, and not waiting in the lobby, and not just like, I guess the equivalent to that is like creating a class.
Yeah.
But in Fortnite, if you're bad at Fortnite, you've got two options. You spend most of your time in the lobby because you keep trying to get into fights, or you spend most of your time avoiding fights so that you can loot up in the hope that you'll win the last one. And either way, you're spending most of your time not fighting.
Yeah.
Don't diss the people that are professional lobby waiters, alright? Those people are better at being in the lobby than being in the game, and I'm sure that they enjoy that part of Fortnite. I'm sure they enjoy the
Flexing
aspect
all their emotes.
of being in the lobby and just playing the emotes. Oh man, Fortnite, what a game. It's just a shame that the developers have just taken it in such a downhill way.
Dude, what
And dead skins. They did dead skins.
Yeah.
the skins never bothered me too much, because like you could ignore the skins and the game is effectively the same.
Yeah.
That's true.
But there was still hype around skins, which they killed because they just released so many. Like,
Yeah, and
the
then
game
they
is so
re-released
saturated with skins.
the rare ones.
Yeah, which is kind of deaded the hype around the old ones.
Yeah.
And something that I was going to say as well, like, I love the building at Fortnite. And that's why when, like, the game died for me when they were basically just nerfing building.
Yeah.
And, like, because there's... I guess in a way they were trying to balance the skill gap, because the difference between a good player and a bad player is how well someone builds.
Oh, not entirely. Let's talk about aiming for a bit.
Aiming and
aim bot.
If you
Aim
can't
assist.
if you can't
Yeah.
aim, like that,
Heavily
that's
nerfed.
that's pretty default. Like if you can't aim, you're bad at shooters.
Yeah, like it's a part of most.
But like Fortnite in specific, that's where you get the biggest skill gap. And so giving like noobs the ability to just melt a structure, like it gives noobs a better chance, which counteracts some of that whole like you're fighting for less proportions of the game.
Yeah.
But it also sort of makes it less of a skill gap, as I said, and there's less reward for actually being good at the game. So what I would have really liked to see is something like a mix of Playground and Call of Duty, where you like you make a class. It's basically just, if there was something like Call of Duty with building,
Yeah.
I'd love that.
That'd be sick. That'd be really cool. Yeah. Podcast, guys.
Stop referring to the podcast.
Podcast.
I cannot help it. I'm so sorry. Dog.
It's just so gassed.
I'm pretty gassed. You know what? This podcast is probably better without me in it.
Testing.
Enough talking about the
One,
podcast.
2, 3.
Remove the creator, Harrison. And
Fortnite game. Epic Games. Fortnite.
I love how we've got like no topics, and Ronan was like, "Oh, we'll talk about our faith in a later episode." Like we've got topics for more topics for later episodes than we do for this one.
Yeah, we should have probably had topics for this episode. You know what? The thing is,
This has been so stressful
God.
at school and everything.
I know. I meant to talk about the freaking podcast again, Jack. I'm sorry.
Don't talk about the podcast.
Hold on.
Talk about anything.
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
When I was coming up with the category for it, I put it under society and culture because that was the most broad category. But I feel like it just needs to be more focused. So in future, let us know what you want us to talk about. Yeah, school's been
becoming a
stressful.
gaming podcast.
School has become very stressful, Jack. You are right.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Yeah. I think it's just being in year 12, really. There's a lot of assignments and stuff.
Street facts.
Maybe we could bounce off that. Society and culture. What's something that interests you guys about society and or culture?
Just how much we've devolved over the years.
Devolved.
As I don't want to say species, but as
That could be
people.
From the hunter-gatherer.
Do you mean like
Yeah.
as an Australian people, or as just
People in
humans?
general, man.
From cavemen.
So as a species works.
I guess, but I just don't like referring to people as species. Just as society, as people, we've just evolved, man. I mean, look at us, right?
Okay,
now.
wait.
We're making a podcast.
Where do you? I'm curious. Like I hear this a lot, where it's like, oh, we're going downhill. I don't think we're going downhill.
Do you think we're going uphill?
I think.
Or we're steady?
Okay, maybe in like the last. It ebbs and flows, but I think the general trend is uphill right now.
Okay.
I think it's hard to say. Hopefully, we're coming to a bit of a turning point. I think we've gone too far to the left as a society.
Yeah, let's get
The
political.
left.
We're gonna get political.
Welcome to the Shattered Podcast, where we have biased political views.
If you don't like it, unlucky. Look, listen. There are places where I would never get political, and Harry and you could probably agree. You know, drama, movies, whatever entertainment it is. But this is a podcast where we speak our mind, and I'm gonna speak politics.
Movies are very political.
Yeah, but I'm saying movies should.
If I were to make a movie, it would not be political.
Oh no.
If I were to watch a movie, and that's the biggest slap in the face where like they put an oversimplified political view in a movie.
There's so many Marvel.
If we were to make a podcast, we would make it somewhat political. Well, no, we wouldn't make it particularly.
Feminist.
We wouldn't make it particularly political. We would just also talk about politics occasionally. How many podcasts do you guys know of? Any other podcasts?
I don't really watch podcasts.
Yeah, I don't really either. That's why it sucks.
I do actually. I watch one
Okay.
podcast. The Show, Nepenthes,
Okay.
and Tobias
Yeah.
Gaming.
But how many other podcasts do you know get political?
Oh, they don't get political at all.
They don't get political.
No, I don't. No, I don't think.
Have you
so.
seen the H3
Not
podcast?
only- yes.
He gets
Well, actually,
political.
no. I just watch his YouTube channel. But
Yeah.
yes.
So,
he's all
yeah.
about politics and stuff.
I just hope that Trump can win in 2020. I don't think Bernie Sanders is any good.
Oh, okay.
Don't think both
if it's
of us
between
agree.
Trump and Bernie Sanders,
Is that even a question?
but like,
I'm
Okay.
once again asking for your financial support.
It's a great meme. Yeah.
Good memes.
because what it came down to, when it came down to Trump versus Hillary Clinton, like Trump is a bad public figure, but in general,
Yeah.
like his policy isn't actually terrible, from what I know.
Yeah,
I need to look
He-
into
the
it.
ways
I
he
don't know.
expresses
Yeah.
his views are just
Yeah, he's just a child.
Maybe
Way
that's
that he
why.
speaks.
Maybe that's why we shouldn't get into politics, because we don't know enough to really talk about it.
yeah.
I know enough
I'm
on certain topics
Yeah,
I'm just
okay.
not well educated.
What do you know about socialism?
that is terrible.
Yeah, I think we can pretty much agree with that.
Yes.
The Shattered Podcast is an anti-socialist podcast. A Niren jury. If you're listening,
I love how you're just trying to cull any potential people who might. You're not in.
We don't want socialists.
You're not in a place
We
to
don't
be
want
picky.
feminists listening to my podcast.
Sorry. Yeah,
Also,
no, you're
I am
right.
for women's rights. They deserve equal pay.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, just extreme feminism.
What I would call
is
radical
something-
feminism.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, that's where we draw the line at Taylor Swift's "The Man" music video. Which, have you guys seen that?
No.
Good, keep it that way. She wears makeup, she dresses up as a man, and then she just does all these like illegal things, like she pisses in public. That's like part of the music video. She like does this big fat, what do you call it, man-spreading on the train. It's like, this is a big deal.
Oh, not manspreading.
Not man-spreading, dude. She's oppressing the women
The
around.
video is just sexist towards men. That's why.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good on
that-
Taylor Swift.
I mean,
Yeah,
like,
good on you, Taylor Swift.
I mean, like,
Interesting stuff.
you do you Taylor Swift, but like, what are you achieving?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
because it's
She used to be a country singer. Now she's just a.
finish that thought, right?
Well, take the words country singer and get rid of tree singer, and then you get the answer. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's talk about
I would like to express the fact that we are Christian here.
We are. That's why I didn't say the word. I only referred to it.
It's the actions of the heart, Ronan. Check for those
Yeah, that's
tissues. I need to blow my nose.
Oh boy.
Oh, I've just been using the toilet paper.
Jack, you're going to die. You're going to get coronavirus.
Dude, speaking of rationing toilet paper, I'm just blowing my...
This is a very politically incorrect podcast,
Dude, we are so politically
and we're not
incorrect.
editing this part out.
It's
So
not funny.
you get to hear this.
Dude, I'm just up and walking around. Oh yeah, the bin.
Bin over there.
The bin's
In there.
to the left.
To your left.
Use the first one.
Use the
apparently.
first one.
The other one.
Listen to Jack.
The one behind
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first
yeah.
bin is recycling.
I'd just like to apologise
If
to
you
the
ever come to
listeners.
Ronan's house, then
Yeah.
now you know where the bins are.
Now you know. How about that? How about that?
Which one is recycling and which one is not?
So, do you guys reckon, like, a few years ago, you know, if we were to make YouTube videos together, like, there was some really fun, like, creative flair about it, and nowadays, maybe not so much, just because of, like, the way YouTube is.
YouTube has become more commercialized,
Yeah.
and so it's It's not the Wild West of the internet days like it was in 2000.
Yeah. And YouTube has started like removing channels as well.
I think it was made in 2005, so I didn't.
Yes, I think so.
And they probably need to start doing that because
They've removed
so saturated.
I agree. They removed
Some of the recommended videos that you get are just ridiculous.
Wait, what's this? Removing videos.
Yeah.
They removed
of
some
yours?
trolling channels. What's that?
Dude, I don't think I agree with that. Like,
Apparently it's bullying.
That were
Okay.
that are currently on YouTube.
That were currently on YouTube, now they're not.
Oh, so,
Yeah.
were they active when they
Yeah,
deleted?
yeah. They had no reason.
I'm all for deleting like inactive channels. Like if you haven't been active.
These channels were
but
still
also,
making
like, deleting inactive channels is still like it's still an archive.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
perhaps, but like YouTube's gonna like keep that locked. You know, keep
Because-
that hidden away.
Here's the way that I see it, because I don't remember the exact laws. I think it had to do with newspapers and that sort of thing. But before the internet was invented, the laws around sort of public expressions of ideas was that if there's some sort of company who is distributing it, then they can take up two positions. They can take up the position that they allow anything to be said,
Okay.
but they have no responsibility for any of it. Or they can take the stance where they get to filter out what's said, but they're liable for what they let through.
Yeah.
And YouTube is kind of taking the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So they're like, we get to say what you can and can't say, but
Pretty
if you
much.
still somehow say the wrong thing, then that's on you. And I feel like that's...
It's unfair for
It's
the
not
creators.
good.
It's unfair. And now you have to also decide whether your video is made for kids or not. You have to pick one. Even when this episode goes up, sorry, I'm talking about it again. We'll have to pick whether this video is made for kids or not. And I don't know how to distinguish that.
Well, I would just... In that case, I would have to assume that unless you are specifically thinking this is children's content... Like, if you're making something for a general audience, I would say it's not for kids.
I feel like this would be very boring for children.
I hate to say it.
Yeah, but
What child? This is
No,
sort of
I
podcast.
get that, and this is where it gets weird, because if you label this as not for kids, then that means kids should not watch it at all, because there's things in it that are not. And so if you falsely label something based on YouTube's vague guidelines of what is or isn't made for kids, then you're screwed. And so that's why it's weird,
Are
because...
they really going to be like...
surely if you label
we're a
something as
YouTube, we're
not
a
for
channel
kids,
with like
but it is
3 subscribers.
At this point on
apparently
YouTube, yeah.
Harrison isn't even subscribed to the
on
channel.
YouTube, yeah.
But apparently, like,
I freak out with
there's no way that if you label something not for kids, but it would have been okay for kids to watch it, that YouTube's going to be like,
I know.
like,
Take that.
Well, no, there's reasons for
like
it.
you're
There's
erring
reasons
on the
for it.
side of safety. If you were to say this is for kids, but it's really not,
I get
then
that.
you should get in trouble.
There is reasons for it though. They do say as well, like if you mark a made for kids video, not made for kids, or a video that's that's what we're saying. As it's actually bad as well, because you can get fined for falsely labeling it.
Is there another option?
That's it, and that's why it's so stupid.
Surely you can't get fined.
Well, I don't know how like common it is, but you can if they care enough, like if it causes enough attraction, gains enough attention. Yeah, you could.
But they don't have any authority, do they?
That's where it gets dodgy as well, because really YouTube should be the ones that get fined, not them trying to find us for our mistakes based on their, flawed system.
Yeah, that comes back to that idea of they're trying to filter it and not get the blame.
Yeah, that's why I freaked out with Klibbitz, because I had to download all the videos off my channel, because it was like January 1st this year. They were going to be purging all the channels that like were bad or falsely made, or there was something specific about it. But I just freaked out.
And
I
you
thought
thought they were coming for Klibbitz.
I thought they were coming for Klibbitz. Apparently they have like completely taken down, small channels like that before, which is completely unjustified. So you might think, that's funny, why would they come after a 400 subscriber channel? But they genuinely could have. So yeah, I did what I could.
It's ridiculous.
And I'm alright.
Why do they care?
It's not about how many subscribers. It's not about like how many people are watching. It's just about the content itself. If it's on their platform, even if it gains no attention, it can still be damageable, supposedly.
I like Reddit's policy. Their policy is you can do whatever the heck you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Reddit's a very cool site.
I don't visit Reddit as much as as YouTube or something, and I don't know why. Probably just because YouTube is like, I've been on it longer, and so it has a better idea of what I want to see.
Yeah.
And like I enjoy some of the creators that are on there.
Reddit's kind of confusing as well. It's got a weird layout.
It'll just be because you're not used to it.
That's probably the
But
case,
yeah, I definitely prefer Reddit's policy on what you can and can't say.
Fair enough.
Because there are different subreddits that have their own rules, but you could make a subreddit and say whatever the heck you want.
Wouldn't that cause like chaos? So you'd think there'd be chaos on Reddit because it's just complete anarchy over there, right?
I mean, what do you mean?
Well, like if there's got to be something set in place. It's just there's got to be something set in place.
I mean, what would happen? What are you assuming would happen if there were no thing set in place?
Well, I don't know. I just no. Sorry.
Chest episode.
No. YouTube, like even YouTube back in 2005-06 when it was first being created, surely it still had some guidelines, and it grew to have a really good, life at a point. And so can't Reddit just do something like that where they just have something in there and still, be as awesome as it is?
But like, why would you want more
Yeah.
censorship?
I do not want censorship.
Because then Reddit just builds up that reputation of I can
Fair enough.
I can just come on here and do whatever I want, and that would definitely draw people in. I think. Yeah.
And
I
so
don't
you
wanna-
get some groups that are pretty crap, but that's the price you pay because freedom of speech is a really good thing.
Yeah.
And people are gonna say terrible things, and then you deal with them on a case. If anything, it's better if terrible people are allowed to say the terrible things. You are now better at identifying terrible people.
That's right. And so that's why I really politics, when the leftists, when they talk about censorship and hate speech and all that, just have it be, this is where I agree with you there shouldn't be rules or set things when it comes to speech. You can define people by what they say.
Yeah, not from the government at least.
Yeah. When the government gets their government hands all over stuff, it just gets iffy.
It's the weirdest thing as well. The left should be the last people who are advocating for anything to be stripped away from freedom of speech because the motto of the left basically is power to the individual.
Yeah.
If
That's
you
funny. Yeah.
The strongest tool that an oppressed individual has is their language. It's the only tool they have.
Yeah.
If you don't have money, power, or any of that, what have you got?
Your
Nothing.
voice.
Your voice, and that's
Yeah.
it. And if people can change what you can and can't say, then you're diminishing the one thing that you've got going for you.
Yeah, and it's just ironic because they accept all people that agree with their views. You can say whatever you want if you're part of the left, but as soon as the right starts speaking out against the left,
sorry,
then it's
we can't. We're not allowed to agree.
exactly.
There's a wall here.
It's
It's
just
my
like,
opinion.
No,
your
you're not
opinion.
allowed to say what
Yeah,
you're saying.
from the other side. Yeah.
And there are dumb people from both sides, but I feel like
100%.
I feel like just
Oh, yeah.
because the left is a lot more popular of a standpoint, you get a lot more people who take it too far and just clearly haven't thought it through. And so that's why at the moment a lot of it seems like a lot of the stupid people are on the left because just most people are on the left. And so
left leaning.
by proportion, even if you had an evenly split proportion of stupid people are loud people. And so you get more
But it's not even I feel like they just don't even they're not even considering what standpoint they're taking by saying yes, I'm a leftist, or just because it's just apparently the right thing to do to accept everyone and and I'm not saying don't accept everyone. We should,
right.
but there's got to be a line where you can disagree and say no, I don't agree with what you're doing.
And it's not like it comes from a place of hate.
Exactly,
It comes from a place of
exactly.
we're trying to help each other, become wiser and build each other up, and knowing what is and isn't wrong and right.
Because a society can't function if everything is right.
If we're loving and accepting of everything, you get like George Orwell's 1984. You get complete chaos. You get the anarchy that is.
I'm so confused about what happens in your head, Ronan.
I don't know,
But
Have you even read?
No! What are you saying? Test episode.
I was about to say 1984 is what happens when you go far right.
Yeah.
Oh crap. Well, when you think about the further you go on either way, the closer you come to the same.
Yeah,
it's like a circle.
You get oppression both ways.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, there are people on the right who are just abhorrent as well. There are people who, like, who are genuinely, like, just terribly racist people.
Yeah.
But I would like to think that most people who are advocating against any sort of restrictions on speech are just doing it because they understand that it's evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's two different like ways of looking at it. You've got capitalism and you've got socialism, and I've heard about this thing lately.
Test episode.
I've heard about this thing lately called distributism, and it's supposed to be like bringing the two together.
What does that mean, though?
Yeah, so this is where we need the computer.
Has anyone done it?
I don't know.
Okay, wait, let me look this up.
Yeah, if you look it up on your phone, we can talk about it.
What does that mean? That just becomes... I assume it just becomes capitalism.
It's how do you
or
have a mix?
or totalitarianism
Totalitarian.
with capitalism in place.
We're very uneducated, and that's why we we're looking it up right now.
See,
We're gonna
it's
tell you.
not particularly uneducated to have never heard of this. Like,
Yeah, that's right. I think it's a fairly new thing. Yeah.
the world's productive assets should be widely owned rather than concentrated.
Isn't that
So that's what I understand is
communist.
that no, it's not. I don't. My guess is that that's not like the opposite of capitalism. It's the opposite of monopolies.
okay?
Because monopolies are pretty bad things. They're bad for because I feel like monopolies are probably. They're one of the only flaws that I really find in capitalism. Apart from the fact that when you've got nothing, it can be hard to get something.
Yeah.
Like, because once you've got anything, especially in modern countries, like, the mobility is pretty high. But if you've got nothing, then you've got, like, you need money to make money.
Yeah.
And, but, like, the incentive to work being our own greed, like, it's effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to work with the money going, equally to everyone.
Because then who would want to be a doctor?
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to do all that work just to get the same as
Just
a
get,
guy
yeah.
that is on checkout at Coles?
Yeah. There's reasons why people earn more than others.
And beyond just motivation, it's like, it's not, if I were a fisherman and I were getting the same as like someone who just landed a man on the moon, I think I'd be going like, hold up, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you might get reputation, and that's about...
but like,
Do you think it'd be if you were the fisherman? That's like the lower of the two. Would you?
then you'd be like, hell yeah.
Yeah. Would you really complain if you were the lower?
wouldn't you feel guilty?
I mean, maybe, but you
I mean,
probably wouldn't
that's
think
not-
about
I
it.
feel like some people would, but some
I
people
feel
would
like
just
I
be
would.
like, yes.
A lot of people would be the fishermen who would be like, yes, score. And that's where part of the problem comes from, because then everyone's going to be fishermen.
Technically, those
Like,
people are going to be more guilty than the people who work for
Everyone
the guild.
becomes a fisherman.
crapping on fishermen at this point.
Sorry, fishermen. If there's any fishermen watching, go back to your
Also,
balcony.
people that work
Go
on
back to your
checkout at
dock.
Coles, we respect you.
Yeah, we do respect the people who work out and check out at Coles.
Yeah.
That's just
It's
the world.
just, you don't have to go to university to work on checkout. As opposed to being a doctor.
You don't.
Likewise, being a fisherman. Do not have to go to university.
That's right.
Also, like, while we're sort of on the topic of communism, like, you've got to have someone on top still.
Yeah, How
Imagine the world.
how else do you particularly? That's like a classroom without a teacher. That's like a household without parents. How do you what is the structure? In
No,
that?
what I'm saying is someone has to be on top. Like, you can't. Someone has to be in charge of redistributing the money. And
Weekend.
who do you trust with it?
Is that what happens in a communist society? You just eventually get to the point where there is no money at all, and it's just everything is done by trade.
Oh, yeah.
You just get equal
if it's
amounts
done
of
by
everything.
if it's done by trade, then you're sort of going back
not-
to the roots
yeah.
of capitalism again.
Yes, that's true.
Like, because then you're just going to end up inventing currency to make trade easier, and boom.
So if you do your... So if you are a doctor, do you just get like all the food you need and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, you need to ration stuff, but someone's got to be in charge of rationing it.
Yeah, you know.
It can be us.
Who do you trust to be in charge of rationing it? Don't trust me. Like, I like to think I'm a relatively good person, but like, give me that kind of power.
There needs to be authority.
Stuff you guys. I'm getting to be a ration.
There needs to be authority.
Yeah. You know,
And that is why communism is effectively not good.
I mean, no, I don't think any.
Well, that's why it's
system is
impractical.
good.
And practical.
Yeah, but like capitalism is just the better of all the
Yeah.
bads. I don't want to say evils. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Like
Well,
the-
yeah. It's a better.
but it's just the world we live in. Like, you know, as Daniel always says, ideally anarchy would be
the worst.
the
The best.
the best. Yeah.
Probably.
I'm not sure about that.
It works on Reddit, Harry.
Well, Reddit's not quite anarchy.
It has no
Like,
policies, you said.
Yeah, anyone can make anything and express their opinion, but then,
Oh, yeah.
Like-
Like, still be people.
but like, you can decide what communities you're going to participate in, and you can just ignore everything else, and the communities themselves can have their own rules.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Because if you applied that theory to real life, then you just get the world. There's no one like really making rules for different countries what they can. Well, there have been people that try, like the UN, but you know,
The UN has no power.
Ah, the UN. What do you guys think of Brexit?
Dude, I know nothing about Brexit.
I know virtually nothing apart from the fact, like, I'm quite certain that there is no reason why Britain should not be allowed to leave.
Yeah, there's no reason why they shouldn't be allowed. So, yeah, we're chilling. All right.
We're for Brexit here on the Shadow.
Here on the Shadow Podcast, we are.
If you are against Brexit, tune out now.
If you're a leftist or a Taylor Swift fan, GTFO.
Yeah, basically, if you're just a leftist, do not listen.
No, we generally would have good conversations with people who have different views. We
this
just want
point-
you guys to have good conversations with us.
At this
We're
point,
getting
all we
next
want
week.
are
He's a
right-wing
big leftist.
All we want are right-wing people who do not like Taylor Swift, who are for Brexit,
We are very close-minded.
who are
That's
not
right.
fishermen.
Very close in our mind.
Check it.
If you do not fit this, tune out there.
It's also if you have the coronavirus, go away. We don't want to be infected.
The 10 people who are all fishermen, right?
Just like, what are you saying? This is terrible. Yeah. So there you go. It's very interesting.
In fairness, though, I'm just gauging like work done by university at this point. Like physically, I imagine fishing would be a very demanding job.
It would be.
Well, a lot of but it depends on how you fish. If you're fishing with a lure, then maybe more so.
Oh,
But like, if you're just casting it and then waiting for half an hour,
No,
I don't.
It also depends on where you're fishing. You could be fishing like in a really like difficult area on a cold day, then you get cold. That's also physically demanding.
Yeah, like that sort of fishing. Like you just chuck a like huge net in. Like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like deep sea
a bum.
fishing.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, okay.
Sorry, that's the kind of fishing
okay.
that I was thinking.
I
of,
don't
like,
know why.
fishing.
I always go to fishing off the freaking. What do you call the?
like just like
like off the
casual
wall.
fishing.
yeah, off the wharf,
I'm a professional fisherman.
off the boulevard. Yeah,
Boulevard.
is that like the deck?
No, that's like a street.
Damn. What do I know? Very little. That's why I shouldn't have started a podcast.
I also know very little. Why are we talking about fishermen anyway?
Well, Harry just
I know,
used it as an
fisherman
example.
analogy. I know.
Harry just used it as an example. Social media, it is taking over our lives, people. Very slowly, but very surely. Tell me, you don't just see more and more people on their phones looking down every single day. And don't you just think, do you think that that's like disconnecting people from reality? Or do you think, oh good, they get to update their status or whatever? What's your thoughts on social media?
Define social media.
Yeah, that'd be a start.
I mean, do people get way too caught up in it? Yes. Are people fooled by like the amazing lives they see being lived? Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, like communism as an idea, it's not bad. But when put into practice,
I disagree with that.
Was that just
in an ideal world, communism would technically work
Whoa,
if
hold on.
everyone was perfect.
Was that a subject switch? Just like a Loki like
No,
slip?
I was using
We'll come back to social media because
No, yeah, all right, that's fine.
I want to say, I feel like even in an ideal world, people don't have the same capacity for what they can do.
Yeah.
And so, like, even if you are disadvantaged by the fact that you have a lower capacity for something, does that mean that you should be compensated? Because Usain Bolt will never be beat by Ronan. Like,
You never know.
Ronan could have trained every day of his life, and he would never beat Usain Bolt because
just don't have the
Usain
ability.
Bolt has like the better genetics. Like black people have denser muscle fibers.
Racist.
That's
true. And like
no.
his Twitch muscle fiber, like they're off the scales,
Yeah.
like they're inhuman.
Yeah.
Like he is genetically predisposed to be an insane runner.
That's it.
Like obviously he trained really hard, but there's a level to it that he couldn't have gotten just by training.
Yeah.
But do we say, you've got to start a bit further back because you've got this much more muscle mass naturally?
No,
I'm just saying, like, in an ideal world, you wouldn't, like,
Yeah.
people wouldn't care. Like, if I feel like, because I'm saying people are perfect, and so communism would just work because people don't care about being, about putting in more work to be a doctor. And then
That could be almost
rather than putting in less work to be a fisherman, like they would just be like, yeah, I'm cool.
That could be a very humanist view as well.
It's bringing humanism.
Humanism. No, I just
It's political movements.
a way of looking at it.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Social media.
Yeah, we're
Social
talking about
media.
that. We're talking about social media.
Yeah.
We're talking about communism for a bit there. Look, social media for
Speaking
me.
of communism,
I was in the middle of something.
test episode.
No. Look, for me, social media, it's a bit of a problem. I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm just, I like it, but I also find it can be a bit, just draining because I spend so much time on it.
But why?
Why do I spend so much
Yeah.
time? Like, there is some deep human urge to just constantly be updated and connected to what's going on. And I don't know if this is just primal, if this has happened, all the time, or if this is just like something that's
Cavemen.
developed recently because of this fact, like we have social media. So we now need to be connected all the time because we finally have this ability to do that we haven't done before.
I mean, like biblically, like humans are made to be in relationship with each other, and I suppose social media is a platform for that. Like you say.
I suppose. But ironically, wouldn't it's almost like an anti
You
social
can
media.
absolutely take it too far.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because there's a certain healthy level of relationship and there's a certain healthy kind of relationship, and you want to balance, like,
That's right.
because you can talk to someone online, but like
There's such a barrier between what you say and what you mean online.
that's a big
People-
That's a totally
The boys group chat.
Yeah, we have a chat called The Boys, and it's just us and a few other guys from our year in our school and also out of our school who we just chat about stuff.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
That's max
we
and
just
crazy.
chat about stuff, and sometimes it goes a bit off the rails because some things get talked about, they get said that are not meant, like are not taken the way they're meant to be said. And I just hate the idea of a group chat online. I think we just need to do it face to face in future.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I'm starting a stand. I'm no longer chatting on the boys' chat.
But are you going to make the effort to talk
No,
to people?
I don't
face to
care
face,
anymore about anyone.
I-
Yeah, no, I'll still try. And I probably
Obviously,
will.
it's
Discord
cool.
only, boys. Screaming contests on Discord instead.
See, but I feel like I'm too lazy to even hop on Discord when I want to chat with the
Just
boys,
like, quick tap of the thumbs, boom, message.
Yeah, exactly. And
I
it's
get
just
that.
there permanently, unlike your voice, which
I get that.
and
And
just
even
here and then it's gone.
yeah, even with Fortnite, like when you take it from the other side, where you're no longer just what you see is what's being written, but now just hearing other people and not seeing them.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very toxic. But I enjoy it sometimes.
I'm very torn on how we play playgrounds and play just our mentality is
Yeah.
the more toxic, the better.
That's-
Because
yeah.
as long as everyone's open about it, like making everyone salty is like it's so amusing.
It's the
Yeah.
goal,
But,
really, of what we're trying to do, which is fun, but it also like breaks people.
I'm kind of torn because I feel like there are people who just can't take that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. Because I was very caught up in just not being toxic at all, and like just not letting the toxicity get to me. But just for me, like didn't work. Like I would just get salty every time we played,
Yeah.
and so for me, it was just about embracing the
Yeah.
toxicity, which.
Jack,
It's fun,
yeah.
but I'm not like it's not like
You're
what
worried
I
that
want to
then
be doing.
Someone else is like gonna be that one who's actually getting super worked up.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, boys. It is a double-edged sword. You embrace the toxicity, you become worse. You become a part of it, and it just
And then,
it just
you don't-
develops in
and
you.
you don't want to be that.
And in your
you
soul.
don't want to be the downfall for like that person that's on the other end, just like genuinely struggling.
That's it.
Like
And that's right. If you don't embrace it, then now you're going to be like just feeling like absolute crap. You know, if you're just
everyone's against me. Like,
if everyone just goes in on you when you're toxic. So unfortunately, that's just how it is. You have to embrace toxicity because if you don't, you feel like trash.
Guys,
That's the
life
motto of-
advice, guys. If you have a problem, become the problem.
That's the
Or
motto of
walk away
today's
from
episode.
Sorry?
or walk away from it.
Or walk away from it.
Yeah, but do you want to miss out?
But are you really a pansy or are you a man or a woman? You guys are equal.
They don't get the social implications. of
Okay,
pansy.
look, guys, what's a common problem?
Common problem. Oh, I can't actually feed. I don't have enough food for my gorilla.
You don't have enough food for your gorilla.
Yeah.
Become the problem.
Become the problem.
Instead of having a problem, become the problem. Who like
Don't feed the gorilla.
Don't feed the gorilla. He will die.
don't feed the gorilla. That's the gorilla's
It'll
problem
die.
now.
And then
Now.
you don't have the problem because the gorilla will die.
Now,
That's true.
instead of the food, feed the gorilla being the problem, or like instead of gorilla food being a problem for you, you are
The
a problem for the
you.
gorilla.
Oh, for the gorilla. That's it. Because then that's a very selfish mentality, though. Oh,
Yeah,
I'll just
but-
be the problem, then it's theirs.
Just, like,
But hey-
just redirect the problem, you know.
What's the time, by the way?
5:24.
Well, guys,
24. Oh damn.
What's another problem? I want to continue.
Another
I think I need to go.
Jack's probably.
Dude, here's your problem.
He
You
doesn't have
need
enough
to get
time
home.
to record
You
this
don't
episode.
have enough time to get home.
Oh, damn.
Become the wait. I'm trying to understand what the problem. I'm trying to break down the problem into its components.
I
but
just
it's-
have too far to travel.
it has
Simply
too far
come.
to travel. Become the problem. Speed.
So guys, I just want to let you know we are going to be starting a Patreon to fund Jack's fuel money, so that way he does not have to pay to get there and back whenever we record this, because we do record quite late into the afternoon, and Jack lives 40 minutes away from here, so
Dude, it's an hour when I'm going
Sorry,
90
an hour. An hour because of
And if-
stupid government rules.
If you don't have money to give to Jack's Patreon, that's a problem.
You become the problem.
Take the money from someone else. Now it's their problem.
And then
Give
if
it to
they,
Jack.
if they're going to complain, they can go complain to other people, and they're the problem,
Yeah, dude. It's like then they just steal from someone else.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's just awesome. It's just great, man. I love
It's
it, man.
great.
Dude, this was dead set. Like, how long have we been going?
Being
Nearly
the,
an hour.
Being the problem. I love it, man.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, we're coming up on an hour.
you know what? It's been fun. Boys, have you enjoyed this very first episode?
No.
Yes, yes.
No? Oh, freak. What's
Yeah,
wrong?
it was
It's been very interesting. Dude, I'm keen to hear what it sounds like.
It has
I
been
feel
interesting.
like there's going to be some bits where I'm just mumbling and it'll just be inaudible.
Yeah.
Like, you just won't be able to be able
Yeah.
to
I'm
understand what
curious to
saying.
see if it gets 0 or 1 views.
Well, how would you know if it gets 0 views? You have to check. On YouTube, you can.
Oh,
YouTube,
so then
you can.
you will automatically
No, but-
view it.
That's it.
Is that a... Yeah.
You
Is
can.
that what you're saying?
No, yeah, you can check. You'll tell us, right?
That's right.
Well,
I can tell you.
We know that it'll probably get 3 views.
Yeah. Maybe
Us three.
at least 3, maybe 4. My grandmother likes podcasts. I think.
Ooh.
So she may listen.
Okay.
And also...
Fan base. Fan base.
Yeah, and I've shared it on Facebook, so, people on the Facebook might check it out.
Use Facebook anymore.
Parents. But that's a topic for next
Adult
episode.
Adult audiences.
That's right. We're just going to try and stretch this
what?
out.
An adult audience.
We're going to stretch this out to an hour now, and then we're just going to end it, alright? So just, keep chatting.
Testing.
No. If you
40
say...
seconds. 40 seconds.
Well, actually, not 40
Talking.
seconds, because, actually, roughly 40 seconds. We'll try and go to, an hour and 10. Listen, we're not great...
No, dude, I have to go.
We're so close!
Test episode.
When I say an hour and 10, I don't mean an hour and 10 minutes. I mean an hour
We
and 10
killed that
seconds.
joke. I want it to be like a running joke throughout the whole...
I think we can 100% keep that joke running without people complaining. We become the problem. If you have an
just
issue,
all the
do
comments
that.
are filled with "shut up."
Shut up. As fishermen, we take offence.
All of the comments is none of them.
Oh, well, you know what? Eventually, we will have interactive things going on.
It's just me commenting on the podcast. Just shut up. Stop.
Look, we're not great at doing podcasts. Alright, I have done one before called the Shattered Podcast. But
How many episodes did that run for?
that ran for 6 episodes.
6 episodes, dude. I've never heard.
Did you just talk on your own?
No, don't you remember? There was one. I did 2 episodes. I did 2 episodes with Dylan. I did an episode with Braden and Charlie. I did an episode with just Kurt, I think. And I did an episode with Kurt and Jai.
Oh, dude, that would have been fun.
We prank called some Domino's and a couple of them.
Prank call?
We asked for a dog pizza at one point.
Oh, is that what that? Because I have heard you talk about asking for dog.
Yeah, and there was some other pizzas, but I can't remember what they were.
Hilarious.
It was great. Oh, yeah,
as a
fish
young,
and chips.
Vibrant 12-year-old.
Well, I was
Domino's.
it was only 3 years.
Dog pizza.
3 years ago. It wasn't 12. I was
Oh,
15.
Oh man. Oh wow.
Dude,
But you
this
get the
joke,
point.
the funniest prank call I've seen is where someone calls one Domino's, gives them their order. Then
And they
says,
call another one?
Yeah, they call another
Yeah.
one, get one of them to read back the order to
It's
the
awesome.
other, so that they're taking the order
It's
of the
awesome.
other, and they're like, that'll do 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, you
So-
see this, guys? Now we're finally we're getting into the flow.
So they link 2 Domino's places.
Have you not seen this?
No.
Oh, dude, I'm
It's
gonna
sick.
send this to the group chat. Dude, it's
it's
so
sick,
fun.
dude.
It's
Look at that.
It's just
Look at that.
do you want garlic bread? What's garlic bread? Yes. Okay.
You see this? We get an hour in. It only takes an hour for us to get to the natural flow of things.
tired.
Jack's tired. He's got a long drive to do. Otherwise, you need to sleep. You can sleep here for a little bit.
Dude, it was so robotic. This.
Yes. I just want to apologize. Look, we like I said, we've never done this before. This is our first time.
Wasn't this a test episode?
No.
Oh.
So we got about an hour in, and then it stopped being robotic. So look, now that we're on the flow, we know how things go. All right, the next episode, we swear we're gonna come at you.
Is that episode 1?
Episode 2, you Muppets. We're gonna come at you with the most high quality content. You know what? This is episode 0.
I'm
This is
looking
officially
forward
episode
It's a
0.
test episode.
No, it's not. Oh, it's not a test.
Spotify, please.
Please accept. Someone has to manually listen to the whole thing to make sure it can be approved for Spotify.
No, dude, I'm not watching this.
No, none of us. Someone at Spotify has to listen to the whole thing to manually approve it.
Anyone
No
who's
one is
employed.
going, Greg, please accept our podcast.
Greg. Dude, imagine, we guess the guy's name and he accepts it based on guessing.
Yo, how did they know? Except, alright, that's it for the Chat Podcast. I've been Ronan.
I've been Harrison.
And I've been Martin.
You've been who?
Martin.
Who the hell is that?
I'm Martin Tyler.
I don't know who that
The
is.
English commentator. He's... Oh,
Okay,
actually...
in sports?
Yeah. Have you heard the Aguero?
I might have.
There's just many good commentary clips of...
We are a podcast specializing in society and culture, and we will see you in the next one, which will be the 2nd episode.
Wait, I thought it was going to be the first episode.
I thought this was a test episode.
Alright, thanks for tuning
We've
in.
deaded that joke.
Thanks for tuning in. You've only deaded it because I deaded it just then. Goodbye. Alright, see you later.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.